Alright, hey guys, Matt here again. I haven't done a rig rundown before with this setup, and I've been asked for it a couple of times, so I thought I'd throw this video together. I'm not sure how long it's going to go for, but I'll put chapter markers in it. It's basically for my FM3 rig and how I run it with an amp. A lot of people use the flat response cabinets or a PA speaker, and I have run that for quite a while, but I find having a proper amp on stage with tone controls on the front of it makes it feel like there's a real amp, because there is a real amp on the stage. And I split out to the front of house if the front of house guy prefers getting a direct sound rather than miking up the cab. So I thought I'd like I said, I'll give you a bit of rundown on how I've got things set up, because it's probably a little bit different to what conventional ways of running a modeler is set up. So I'm running. I'll change out some guitars at the moment. I've got my flavour of the month, the old Valley Arts, happening at the moment. So I'll give you a bit of rundown. I'm running a Victory V130, and as you can see, I've got pretty much all the controls pretty much on noon. I'm really just running the clean channel, so it's like a pedal platform sort of setup. If I run it without any cab sims, so I've just got a button on the FM3 that I use to change into a scene that has no amp sims. If you look here at I don't know where you can see this, I've got my amp turned off. The other effects and stuff are going on, but at the moment that's just a straight amp sound. If I switch into scene 1, you can see the amp now switches on, and so I've got my little Zoom recorder set up down on the floor down there to pick up a bit of an amp sound. Plus I'll give you a bit of a direct sound as well. So that's in the room, and that's the direct sound. So if we look down at my my setup down here, I've got the Morningstar. Excuse my ugly feet. I probably should use something better to point, but my feet will do at the moment. So Morningstar, and that's just giving me extra buttons on the MIDI control for the FM3. The top two buttons up at the top I've got here is set up as a page turn for my iPad, so when I'm reading charts I can easily flip with just the flick of a button rather than to carry an extra foot controller around for the page turn. Down here, this switches to scene 1, which at the moment is my Bogner Blue channel. Once again, that's the Bogner Blue, and then it switches. The next one here switches scene 2, which is the Bogner Red, which is a bit more gain. This switch here switches to scene 3, which is a like a Mesa Boogie sort of style thing, and then scene 4 is a bit more of a cleaner sound, which is like it's a Dumble sort of preset. I'll go through all the presets in a sec. So the next button up here, I've got a pitch block set up. You can see the pitch block switches in and out. Oh, and I just noticed it's switching this for some reason too. I don't know why it did that. It's a bit of a subtle effect on that channel. Probably sounds bigger in the stereo field. this controller here, this is sending out a MIDI message to turn on my drive block over here. So you can see as I hit that on and off, the drive comes on and off. Just so I've got it set just to give it a little bit more of a push. And then on the FM3, I've got this one set up to add more mix of my reverb in from the mixer block. You see, it gives you a big nice reverb sound. If I switch that off, you'll notice here row 4, which is where the reverb is coming from, is being affected by that switch change on the FM3. So that's a little bit of reverb, more reverb. It's effectively just giving me more mix on the reverb. The second button along is switching the chorus in and out. You can see the chorus here, switching in and out on my preset. And then the third the button is a solo boost. That's turning on what is that turning on? It's turning on a graphic EQ, which is giving me a bit of a boost. I'll show you here. So it's boosting 4.6 at the moment. Cuts a little bit of the lows out of it. And I think it also, not in this one. I thought I had it boosting in the amp as well, but it's not. It's just a clear, straight out volume boost. And I adjust that live depending on the venue. And it also switches in this delay here. So it switches in the input gain. So you can see it goes from 0 to 100, which gives me that delay 777 milliseconds. You see the delay's gone away now. Why 777 milliseconds? It's something I picked up from Steve I don't know why. It's probably some weird spiritual reason than where he does it, but it just sounds good to me. On the expression pedals, down here you can see I've got 2 expression pedals set up. They both set up through the Morningstar expression ports. This one is just a slight volume boost. Sometimes you want it just a little bit more or a little bit less or whatever. And this one is my delay mix from or the input into this main delay block, which I've got set on all the time. You hear it cuts in and out. You can see here with the input gain, it controls that on that delay. This is this delay here. Obviously, I've got another little button here. This goes into the to the pedal inputs on the back of the FM3. This one is a tuner on and off, and it's obviously it's bypasses signal, so it mutes my signal. This one's a tap tempo, and you can see the tap tempo changing on top of the thing. Other one, I've got a little overdrive pedal here, what's a Rockaway pedal, whoever's pedal that is. Just goes into the front of the FM3, and before that I've got my Origin Effects Cali 76. I like to have some pedals so live I can just quickly dial in a bit more compression or just use it as a boost, or I can squeeze it out and for clean sounds and make it really sort of spanky. Alright, so if we look at the patch here, if I go back to scene 1, I've got the Euro Blue. All right, that's my volume expression pedal. You can see if it's down all the way, and it goes down to 610, but then it pushes up to 10 when I go toe down position. And then I'm splitting out with delays and with pitches and reverbs to keep them parallel, running into a mixer. That way I can control it a little bit better than trying to have to muck around with the mixes of each of these effects. Notice they're all kill dried, so I only get the direct signal through, and then this one is a through, so it's not muting anything once it's muted. And then this is the secret sauce to my live settings. So I've got two sort of EQ filters. This filter block's set for a tilt EQ, and I think when you're running a amp sim into the front of the amp, you'll find it's quite bright and probably lacking a bit of bottom end. And this tilt EQ just evens that out to make it sound more, to suit more for the clean amp. If I turn that off, you see it sounds really gross. So a lot better, not a lot of bottom end, too much top, but adding that in really evens that out. And then the parametric EQ, I'm really just cutting a little bit of the bottom low end frequencies out of the signal and some of the top end, and then about 3.354 3,352 hertz, I've cut it out a little bit because I find that's probably the fizzy parts of some of the sounds that I find a little bit annoying. And then it just goes straight out to the output on 3 dB output. If I go to the audio settings, I've got it set for unity gain at a plus 18 boost, and I find that probably gives me the same output as if I was to plug straight into my amp. There might be a better way of doing it, but that's just where I've got it set up. EQ output 2, once again I've got a high cut at 12,000 hertz, and once again a low cut at 29, which sort of rolls off, what's that, about 50 hertz, and then dips down. Like I said, that's just to cut that ultra low, ultra high frequencies. I probably don't need to do that if I've got this parametric block happening, but yeah, just I don't know why I do that. On my output to the front of house, I'm going stereo. Alright, and in this one, I've just noticed it. I normally have it cut here and cut here. What else? I was running my acoustic the other day, so normally acoustic I'll run the low end flat and boost the treble a little bit just to give it a bit more sparkle. But when I'm running electric, so 6K, I'm cutting 20 dB and 58 hertz at minus 20, and it sort of rolls off at about 100 hertz. So that's output 1 and output 2. It's very similar, and that's in the config setup section. The cab block, I'm running 2 ML IRs, and I'm panning those hard left, hard right stereo input so it can pick up all of those stereo effects into the cab block and send them out stereo. I do all my filtering in the preamp section, so you see I've got it set for 86 at a 12 dB cut, and then 5440 hertz at 12 dB, and I'm just boosting the treble a little bit, cutting the mids back. So was with that master output could have been sounded a bit funky, but yeah. So that's about it. If you got any questions, feel free to drop me a line. Obviously the input runs straight in from my guitar into the compressor, into the Rockaway overdrive, and then into the front of the FM3. All the processing obviously done within the FM3 with help from the Morningstar, which is just spitting out MIDI to the FM3, and then I've got stereo output to front house with the DI with the cab sim, and then I'm running mono at the moment into my Victory, straight into the front of the Victory amp. I can run stereo, I have run stereo out like this before, which works quite well, but some venues can be a bit overkill, and plus it's another amp I would need to carry with me. So that's it. Like I said, if you've got any questions, feel free to send me a message, or if you want me to send you the preset, I can send you the preset. But yeah, that's it. Thanks. Bye.